Good morning, everybody. How's everyone doing this morning? I am back. It's about 6:23 in the morning. We are cruising over Brazil. It's well in the morning here in Brazil, and we are probably 40 minutes out from the airport, so we should be hitting our top of descent in a little bit. So I figured this was a good time to start the stream. Pardon my morning voice. I'm in the process of still having my coffee and honestly waking up, so my energy might be a little different than what it was last night during that stream, so bear with me. But we're going to do our best to still make it a fun and exciting stream to check out. I'm going to just test my audio real quick. It sounds fine. Okay. Let's kind of plan our arrival. The weather is actually improved. It's now VFR here, which is really good. The wind pretty much light, 3005 knots. There's a couple of clouds, that's about it. But outside of that, everything is looking good. QNH is 1014. So we'll set that real quick, just in preparation for landing. And then the approach or the arrival we're taking right now, I just want to make sure it has all these altitudes programmed in, because I'm coming off of Zeras and it wants me to cross above like 260 and stuff. Okay, so that is correct. Alright, perfect. So we got 200 miles to top of descent. Shouldn't be too long. Got an interesting crosswind going on down here. And then visually where it puts us, it's right here. So we're ready to cut through most of the country, or the continent I should say. And then kind of so you guys get a visual reference of how this approach will go. The arrival right there curves us up. There's some high terrain in the area, and then we're going to do an ILS that it'll loop us for, and that'll be the arrival. And there you go. There's the terminal. Pretty simple. So we got really good weather right now. I don't think I'm going to need to auto land or any of that stuff. Honestly, I might even hand fly the approach. Last time I did that in the Maui was a lot of fun. I probably don't do it as much as I should. Got to connect to VATSIM again. I'm still bummed I forgot to start ACARS last night for those of you that were there. But again, my flight is still being tracked on a different source, so I will get credit for it with my virtual airline, air quotes. So it's not the worst case scenario. I've been checking out the scenery while we were flying. It's pretty cool looking. I mean, it definitely is different than the US. The color tones are way different. It'll probably get a little more interesting as we get closer to the coastline. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye out on what's happening outside of the aircraft, just for the purpose of it being more interesting. Alright, hold on. I'm going to take a big old sip of coffee here. Beautiful. Man, I woke up this morning. I went to bed like almost instantly when I went up last night after we ended that stream. I knocked out pretty hard. I slept pretty good throughout the night. But I woke up this morning just with like a clogged up head, which is not fun. So that definitely makes sense as a result of the weather yesterday. For those of you that might remember, if you were in the stream yesterday, it was our first actual cold day in a long time, and I was of course running around outside in it all morning, so I figured it would affect me. Big old engine. Alright, let's see what type of traffic we have going on here, because I haven't really been checking. There's not a lot of traffic in this entire country right now. Holy cow. There's one aircraft that just departed. That's about it, though. There's nobody within couple 100 miles with me. So that's not too much. We're going to have like 0 traffic factor. I doubt we'll even have any air traffic control, so it'll be all Unicom enunciating. Is this SBGL? Yeah, Rio. I flew there once. Yeah, I remember that terminal. I do remember landing. And then the other spot I need to go back to is Buenos Aires, Argentina. I think that was SAEZ or something, if I remember correctly. But another airport I need to go hit up. There was an airport I used to fly to a lot back in the... Oh, what airport is that? Back in the ATA days. ATA used to have a flight... Well, they did a bunch of charters. And they did a flight to this airport down here, where this guy is. SAW H. That's like the southernmost airport in the world. It's a cool spot to fly to. That flight used to be from it was Miami to there. I think it was ATA's longest charter they ever did, and it was performed in the L-1011. So we used to all simulate that one all the time. I did that flight many times. That was back in the day of FS9 when I think I used to have this program called FS Navigator, which let you kind of build a route like this, and then it let you load it into the flight plan system in FS9 so that it would automatically go into your GPS with multiple waypoints. Because I think in the FS9 you weren't able to add multiple waypoints into your GPS. You had to like fly direct to the one, and then before you hit that you had to switch it to the next one. So this program allowed you to build a continuous flight plan, which was really cool. That was like a huge monumental step in the direction that we kind of are ultimately in now. But yeah, look at this. There's not a lot of aircraft going on around here. So traffic shouldn't be a fact. Or sorry, you guys, I'm acting like you guys can see this, but there's not a lot of traffic around here, so it won't be a factor. We'll just have to keep sipping on our coffees like true pilots and keep cruising towards our arrival. We ended up stepping up to 370. That was our max. We went 3.3 to 3.5 to 3.7 overnight. Probably just going to clock just beyond 9.5 hours on this flight. And I'll be able to get the return flight going today at some point. I might have to do that off screen though, because what I'm kind of running into with this stream is 6:30 now. Everybody in my family wakes up around 7. Well, mainly my son. He might get to sleep in a little bit though because he was up late. But I don't think I'll be able to stream the return flight departure. Not the end of the world. Maybe I'll record it. So worst case scenario, we do that. What else can we do? I guess we could do a little bit of an approach briefing because we're about, what are we? Yeah, we're less than 30 minutes from top of descent. So this is kind of the plan. We're going to be doing that arrival that I showed you guys, which is pretty standard. It's just got a couple of altitude crossings, which we got already programmed in there. And then we're going to be doing the ILS runway 28 left Yankee approach, which is nothing, it's just a standard ILS approach there. So in terms of the landing, that's pretty simple. The big thing is I want to get my landing speed calculated. So with a flaps 30, we'll be at 144, auto brakes 3. So let's go ahead and put that in. And then auto brakes set to 3, which is pretty standard for me. I think I typically do an auto brake 3 landing. And I'll get my range rings set up on that runway. 28 left. It's like we're landing at O'Hare or something. Fix, where am I going? Throw a 25-mile ring in there, a 10-mile, and a 4-mile. Cool. VNav. Alright, so that's all set up. We got our altimeter already set. QNH. Well, it's 1014, so hold on. Let me There we go. I'll turn up my standby instrument brightness a little bit here. And then I'm going to actually kick terrain on for the arrival here. I had weather on the whole time. But I know it's going to get a little hilly, so we'll do that. Everything else is pretty much good to go. We'll get our lights handled. We'll get our altimeter changed over. Actually, I should look up the transition altitude here. What is the transition altitude? It's by ATC, okay. Well, that doesn't help. There's no ATC. Oh, sorry, it's 8,000. Okay, so 8,000 feet is our transition altitude. So we'll go ahead and switch it over there. We'll be well descended by then. See what it's like flying from the right seat for a little bit. Oh, what? So you get 2 pens, lucky. What a lucky guy. It's nice. It's nice sitting on this side, you know? It's amazing how few of times I've ever ridden in the right seat. When I've been in the cockpit of an airplane, I've normally been left seat because I was normally, well, I'm talking like small aircraft too, so normally I was the one flying it. Except for that one time I was in a Cessna Caravan coming back in New Zealand, and I was flying co-pilot, and the guy put me to work. That was the funniest part. Like, all right, cool. New Zealand flying, get to learn. That's when I had to help him get VFR on top out of Milford Sound. That was a good time. That was like the last time I actually did something in real life where I participated in flying an aircraft, and that was that was right before COVID, so yeah, 2020. Man, that's already been 5 years since we were there. That's insane. This decade, oh my, it's going by so quick. The thing that sucks about it is by the end of this decade, I'm going to be almost 40 years old, which is weird to think. But I think your 2 greatest, I don't know, each decade in my mind, this is a flight simulator stream, and here I am talking about decades of your life. I think your 30s and your 40s are the most exciting decades from a work career perspective. And my reason for that is, you know, in your 20s, you're getting your first job. You're trying to figure out if that's your career, if you want it to be your career. And then you're trying to land yourself at a place where you ultimately want to try to work up through the ranks, if you can. If not, you're switching to other jobs or other companies to advance your career. Because maybe the next position is not open at your current company, but it's open at another company. So you make you switch companies so that you're not constantly just making lateral moves all your life. But I think that's something you would do, or you're set up, or you're doing in your early 30s. And then in your 30s is like where you're getting that grind, where you're dedicated, you're invested in what you do. You're like, I guess, trying to prove yourself, so you work hard. And then in your 40s, that's when you can start taking crazier, I guess, high risk, high reward opportunities potentially. And your career and your level of your career, you're pretty far advanced in there. And by the 50s, you're just really working on getting yourself situated for retirement, you know? You're still focused on your career, but now you got to focus on that next part. And then in your 60s, I guess it depends on what career you're in or how far you went up the chain. Do you even want to retire? Are you a part owner? Do you need to retire? It's interesting. But then you got to think of the perspective of, okay, I have a child and I have another child on the way. So my 30s and my 40s are going to be filled with raising basically from a newborn to a 20-year-old. So that's going to be the fun part. I always I always calculated in my head, how old will both of my sons be when, or how old will I be when both of my sons are old enough to drink? And I'll be in like my early to mid 50s. Which is not a problem because people seem to be living, well, fingers crossed, people are living longer, or they're staying healthier for longer into their 70s before they get hit with severe ailments, that like quality of life changing ailments, before you start that natural decline. But yeah, it's crazy, 33 years already. And in that 33 years, I've been playing Flight Sim for like 15 of them. 15 plus. That's even more crazy. Actually, here, let's do some basic math. So, it's 2025 as of now. I think I started... I don't know if VATSIM shows your join date. Let me see if it does. I'm actually curious. Let's test this experiment. Statistics. Here we go. See if it'll log me in automatically. My statistics. When did I first join? Oh man. Oh wow. Okay, here, I'll go all the way back to 2005. I don't even know if I had any in okay, I didn't have any in January of 05. What about like December 05? Oh my god, there we go. I had connections in December of 05. I connected as G unit. That's pretty funny. So 2005. Wow, that's 20 years of VATSIM. Once I get further into this year. That's wild. That's more than half of my life that I've been on this network or been a part of this community. That's just nuts to think. Yeah, I remember that actually. G unit. I think I got banned or suspended for that. I'm pretty sure I did actually. I'm pretty sure me and this other guy from the ATA virtual airline, we were screwing around on the VATSIM network on New Year's Eve of 2005. And I think we went to Hong Kong because Hong Kong was on, and he spawned in on one end of the runway. I spawned in on the other end of the runway, and we were in the extra 300s. And I logged in as G unit, and we just took off towards each other and did a quick acrobatic demonstration, and then they gave me a 2-week suspension. But I was 14 at the time, so was I 14? Yeah, I guess I was. I was in 8th grade going into high school that next year, or graduating 8th grade that year. Oh, look, there's that guy that took off from São Paulo. Alright, how much longer until our top of descent? 51, that's right. So, less than 10 minutes. We'll be going downward. I got everything so configured early. This guy's cruising similar altitude already. 38,000. Oh, he's a 777 as well. How cool. Oh, man. There's no speed restrictions on this arrival, is there? Because I just want to cruise in as quick as I can. A little bit of clouds up ahead, nothing too serious though. I really do like United's new colors. I mean, it is very white, but looks clean. I'm glad they changed the tail color from the Continental color. Wasn't a fan of Continental's coloring scheme. I didn't like their livery that much. It's insane to think how much aviation has changed. Like from that airline standpoint, back when I first started doing it for real, you had United, you had Northwest, you had Continental, you had America West, you had US Airways. Who else did you have? Who else were the big players? Like Northwest used to be a big player, and then that thing kind of went defunct. And then you had all the internationals, but that was kind of the main. Those were the main drivers in the U.S. Spirit's still around. Frontier's still around. AirTran was around. I flew them before out of Midway. Southwest is still here. Who else was popular? Low budget. Trying to think. I think what was cool is to see the change in the regional world. Like you used to have the BAE 146 at O'Hare a lot with United Express. You'd see those in the Battleship Gray all the time. I don't recall a ton of turboprops at O'Hare, but I knew they existed for a bit. Back when the ATR 42 and 72s were popular, I flew on an ATR going to... I think it was when we went to the Bahamas one year. We connected in Miami. That was pretty cool. Those were popular. Trying to think what other aircraft. I remember flying on a DC-10 a long time ago. That was a very long time ago. Flying on the 7.5s. The good old Super 80s with American Airlines. I love the MD-80. That airplane just had such a unique sound to it. Nothing beats those old sounding engines. The 727s, all the different variants of the 737 that United used to have, the 300, the 500. They still have the 700. Oh, and then they also had TED by United. That was a thing. I flew that to Las Vegas a long time ago for spring break. That might have been 2006. I think I actually have an old YouTube video on my... Oh, did I put that on YouTube? I might have put it on YouTube on my very first channel of that landing. That was when there used to be this website called Flight Level 350, and people used to post aviation videos on there, whether it was spotting videos or like you're actually on the plane. That was the first big aviation video website before YouTube was really a monster. I used to go there to watch this video. It was United 940 landing in Frankfurt, and then Channel 9 was a thing, so you could record Channel 9. That was really neat. And then there was a really good video from Washington Dulles to London Heathrow in a 777 that I used to watch all the time. Because that guy filmed it from literally getting to the gate in the terminal to landing. Those were the days. Alright, there's our top of descent right there. So 4 minutes. And it wants me to go down to 6,000. Okay. Beautiful. 29 miles. Got that all set up. I'll start it a little bit early so it's not as drastic of a descent rate. And then we'll be approaching into Sao Paulo. Make sure I keep my speed up too during this descent. 309, that's perfect. As long as I keep it up there, and I'll override it later on. 250 and all that. Try to get in there as quick as we can. Save as much time as possible. Keep it interesting. There's my tray table. Or my chart table, I should say. How am I supposed to eat on that? Big old panel. Look at all those circuit breakers. At least they got plenty of spots to hang our coats. Or whatever we would hang from there. Probably the few clouds that we're gonna continuously see as we approach the airport. Let's make sure the weather didn't change. I don't think it did. Nope, still the same. It's 49 minutes old, so it is gonna change one more time before we get there. Or at least the ATIS will change. We'll see what it changes to. And then in terms of parking, I don't really know where United parks here. I'm not familiar with parking spots in Brazil. Well, we'll just find a heavy gate and park there. That's all we really need. $14. 13 miles. I'll start at 10 miles. Get a little head start. Last night was a really good stream. I had a great time. It's good to see all the everybody joining. It was fun. A lot of new people in there. A lot of new names to interact with. That was a good time. So thank you all for stopping by. That made it a lot more fun. And it was good to see the recurring visitors. VG Master, Rise, Good Day. I haven't seen Thomas Johnson though. I wonder where Thomas Johnson's been. Busy at work maybe. It's a lot of fun. Actually, I'm enjoying kind of regrowing a YouTube channel again. I know I've said this a bunch of times, but it's different for me this time around than when I first started back in 2010 when I was doing Let's Plays. There's something about the community, this community, I think is going to be a lot more fun to build. The Let's Play community was a little different, but there's more interaction with this community. There's more stuff we can do. Like, doing group flights is really neat. We can go so many different places. So I'm excited to keep building the community. Plus, I understand the analytics a lot more and what actually matters in the analytics. Sure, subscriber count is important. I wouldn't lie. Or I'd be lying if I said I don't look at that. Because that's a ratio in itself. You know, I'd like to see what my subscriber to video view ratio eventually becomes as I post more videos. But the analytics in terms of the impressions and the click-through rate and all that stuff, it has a whole new meaning to me now than what it once did. So I love looking at that stuff. And that's why you guys always hear me ask, hey, thanks for clicking on the stream. I appreciate you guys actually clicking on it, checking it out, stopping by, dropping a comment, and all that. But the thing that always makes me curious is what, and this is something you can't get from analytics, what made you click on it? Like you saw it in browsing or it was recommended, but what made you actually click on it is the real big feature, or the big key that, you know, I gotta get actual feedback from on you guys, because that's the most interesting thing. Like why? Was it the thumbnail? Was it the title? Was it the concept of, you know, the aircraft that I'm using, or that I'm on VATSIM? Stuff like that. Because it helps me kind of determine what type of videos I should make, or what are you guys most interested in. And you can kind of see search terms and all that too. Alright, here we go. Starting down. Start leveling off a little bit, or shallowing out this descent. Game always starts at so steep. I think the one thing they fixed in 2024 is the HDR. Like, it gets so washed out in this game when you're at high altitude. They really do the haze effect a little too much, I think. Because not every day when you fly is it like this, where you can't see that far. There's days where you can see clear very far, and it's not super washed out. But then as you get lower, it definitely reduces this haze effect. Alright, let me pull up the arrival chart here, because our first point, this point we need to cross above 260. Hey, Sao Paulo ground just got on. We will have some air traffic control. I wonder if I can look up where United parks in Sao Paulo. Let's check out the real life flight. So O'Hare to SBGR. Let's see. Alright, United arrived. Let's see where you arrived. Gate 34. Okay, let's try to find gate 34. So we can just simulate the real world gate, if possible. Oh. I think this is one of those things where the passenger gates are definitely different from the the charts. Well, maybe I can do SBGR terminal map. Let's see if I can do that. 34. Okay, so B, I get that, but what about the gate numbers? Like, where's gate 34? This isn't helping me very much. Oh wait, here we go. Terminal 2. There's no gate 34. Terminal 1? 101, 109. No, that's like dinky. Terminal 3? Oh god. I don't think that's correct. I don't know. The chart's not even helping me. The chart matches what it was showing, and the actual airport website terminal maps match what is on Navigraph charts. So that's not going to work either. We'll figure it out. I'll just choose a heavy gate and we'll go there. It's not the end of the world. The early morning stream. Now we're starting to get a little bit cooler looking terrain. As we descend inbound a little bit more here. 146 on my heading. Alright, well, the other thing I could do in the meantime, I could get my checklist complete so it doesn't yell at me. Pre-flight. Checklist override. Checklist override. 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 Okay, that's all set. Approach, altimeter set. Alright, landing. Got our altimeter already set, it just hasn't transitioned over yet, so I'm not gonna mark that one down. Sending through 220. Next altitude constraint is crossing our next waypoint at or above 210. And we are, or sorry, at or below 210, so we are right on track for that. Make our left turn inbound. It's nice to see São Paulo ground on. Get a little bit of taxi instructions with them. I'm already almost done with my coffee. It's so good. How many people drink their coffee black? It's always something I'm curious about. It seems like people at my work, majority don't, because they all look at me like I'm goofy. I used to always drink coffee with cream and sugar, and then one day I just stopped, and I never went back. It was the weirdest thing. But now I really prefer no cream or no sugar. I think it's just too sweet, and it ruins the... If you have like a good coffee, and you get that natural flavor of coffee. Black coffee, what's up? What's up, Jesus? Yeah, black coffee is death. I like it jet fuel. I like mud. But no, I used to be a cream and sugar person. And then I feel like it was when I started liking wine. Once I started liking wine, I think then it was more, okay, what's the natural flavor of the coffee? You know, what's the actual... Because there's so many different types of coffee beans, and they're from different areas, and you're supposed to be able to... Kind of like red wine, you know, red wine from Italy, completely different from red wine from Napa. It's because of where it's grown, you get different flavor profiles. Hey, what's up, VG Master? Good morning. So once I kind of dabbled in red wines, then I started drinking coffee black to get the natural taste, or what's the natural flavor. And now I feel like cream and sugar just completely washes that out. I remember one time I was at work helping out with snow removal, so it was very early in the morning, and somebody was trying to be nice by bringing me a Dunkin' Donuts coffee, and it had like cream and sugar in it. It was literal sugar water. It was disgusting. I appreciate them doing that for me, but it was not good. I can't do that. Yeah, you guys are up early. Alright, we're back. My little man got up earlier than I thought today. He got up at like 7 on the dot and just ran right downstairs. I don't remember what I was saying. I got sidetracked, but it probably wasn't important. Anyways, we are approaching our 25-mile radius ring, and everything's looking pretty good here so far. So, hopefully, I think I'll do a visual approach. I'll hand fly it. Let's do that. We'll make it a little more exciting. Test my landing skills. I gotta figure out how to get VPilot back up and running too, or not VPilot, Fly Large Studio, so you guys can see the landing rate and all that stuff. Gotta build a new template. Alright, well, I was muted. I don't know if you guys saw, but I kicked all my landing lights, or I kicked all my lights on, basically. And my seatbelt sign's on, so that's all set to go. Just gonna go fly a little downwind leg here, circle in, we'll intercept the localizer at 10 miles out. And then we'll just do the approach. Have me slow up here shortly. I think, actually, yeah, there's my... Yeah, this next crossing restriction's below 10,000, above 9,000. So it'll have me slow up to 250, 240 knots right at that green dot. Got a little more hilly. Some bigger hills over there. Not real mountains, though. So we're getting some different terrain. There's a couple up there, too. Highest spot is 6,600 feet. Actually looks pretty nice out here. The more rural areas look really nice. Let's do this. Let's switch this to 250. Keep my speed up there. There we go. I don't think I'm gonna need to use speed brakes or anything to slow this thing down. Actually, no, I might. Might need a little bit of speed brakes to manage the speed. I got some time though. Wow, that area is very densely populated. Holy cow. That seems to be kind of the common trend of Brazil. It's like everything's so dense. They just seem to build everything right on top of each other, even though they have all this space, it seems like. Alright, the cabin is ready. I'm going to put a little bit of spoilers in because I do need to help slow down a little. Hey, there's a little bit of turbulence actually simulated here with these hills. I know I kept ripping on this game for not having any turbulence. VG Master, are you still going to do ATS this morning or no? Oh shoot, this runway's no longer used. 10 right, okay. Well, that's not good. Now I need to transition. Yeah, but that's a tailwind. I don't want to land with a tailwind. What are they using in real life? Landing runway 10 right. Great. Okay, well, we're going to have to change that now. Going to have to transition over to there. Yeah, I don't know. I guess Evra 1 Delta would be what I'm on. And then I gotta completely swap this whole approach around. Turn that off. It's lagging me. ILS Yankee from Loman. Alright, we're gonna need to transition out of here. Standard. Okay, so I need to completely swap all of this around. ILS 10 right. And it's ILS Yankee 10 right. So 10 right. Loman. And everyone Delta from Zeras, which means I gotta figure out my next point on here. It's probably gonna be proceed direct Loman, honestly. So we'll do that. Yeah, we had to do a quick runway change, so that was fun. Yeah, see, they just switched it though to 10 right. It was, they were using 28 left, and then they just updated it. Which is stupid because there's still a tailwind on 10. That's a tailwind for 10 right. Oh, you plan to sometime after breakfast? Nice. Yeah, I'm looking at grounds. It's interesting that ground is creating an ATIS, but I'm looking at that, and then also I got the real world ATIS feed, and it just switched it to the 10s. So we'll go ahead and get that squared away. Loman at 6. We'll start slowing up here once we get a little further over. Yeah, it's weird. Maintain 6,000 above this. Altitude hold, 250 knots. I am in São Paulo, Brazil. Currently over a nice hilly forest. It's pretty cool looking. And the airport is right over there. So that's where we'll be landing shortly. As a matter of fact, I'm actually going to adjust my heading here a little bit, because this is going to be way too... Well, actually, that's not too bad of a downwind leg. I think we'll be okay. Oops, surpassed my heading there. 277. 276. Perfect. I'm not even going to waste my time making an announcement because there's nobody at this airport, so Unicom can be on deaf ears right now. Okay, so we're good. I'm going to start slowing up a little bit here, just in preparation for this turn. And the intercept altitude, 4,500 feet by Lupto. So 4,500 feet at that point, that shouldn't be a problem. Flaps 1. 210 on the speed. And I'll go ahead and arm the speed brakes. Landing gear and flaps 30 is the last thing there on our landing checklist. I do not want to go to 250, so let's reset that back down. Okay, so this should manage my altitude. once we get back on the VNav profile. Now we got marginal VFR. Broken 3000. A little bit of haze. Slow down a little bit more because I'm going to be inside 10 miles pretty fast. So we'll slow up to 180. Yeah, I know. I looked at flight radar. 24. They're probably in the process of switching. So they got like a couple more aircraft on approach. Alright, we'll slow up a little bit here and arm the localizer. (2500) 180 on the speed. Level off at 45, and then I will go ahead and kick on the flaps 10 or flaps 15, and approach mode coming live. Beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna maintain 170 until 4 miles. Yeah, this is stupid though that they're putting it with a tailwind. I mean, what are we doing here? But I'm gonna have to follow what air traffic control has. As much as I don't want to, I'd land the other way. I was already set up for the other way. But then they'd probably be like, "Oh, we're landing on the other runways." Blah 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 blah. I saw that they still got 2 aircraft waiting, holding short of the 2.8s, and they got like 2 inbound. Alright, well, we're almost there. So, let's rearm our speed brakes. We're cooking. Oh yeah, sorry. I did see your message. I'm gonna have to hop off after this, actually. I'll have to start the return flight offline a little later or something. Maybe I'll be able to stream it, but it won't be probably until 11 o'clock. So we'll see. Okay, we're gonna go geared down. Flaps 25 or flaps 20. My VREF is 144. Yep. Config gear, it's fine, it'll go away. I threw my flaps a little quicker than I wanted to. Alright, 144. 500. Inside of 4 miles. I forgot that I flipped the runway, so my radius rings were a little off. Not the end of the world.
400. Sync rate. Glide slope.
Correcting. Yep, auto throttle discharge is on.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
Alright, there we go. Kick our reverse thrust on. With our beautiful tailwind landing. Gotta love it. I probably could have made that exit if I braked a little harder, but I really don't care. Alright, cool. We'll get off at Charlie Charlie and contact ground. Not too bad. I already calculated the VREF with +5. It was 139. Boom. All right. Sao Paulo ground, United 152 heavy, just off of 10 right at Charlie Charlie, requesting taxi to the gate.
You confirm United 152.
Can you repeat for United 152?
To São Paulo ground, good evening, welcome to São Paulo. Cross runway 10 left, taxi via November, Alpha, and Kilo, gate at your discretion.
All right, cross 10 left and then taxi via November Alpha Kilo, United 152. Thanks. All right, cool. Even better. November Alpha and then Kilo to the ramp. Welcome to Sao Paulo. All right, flight director, you can go bye-bye. I don't need you anymore. Auto brakes can go bye-bye. Cross this runway nice and quick. All right, we did it. We made it. I'm curious to see what that landing was. I don't like landing with the tailwind in a big aircraft, but it's fine. I think I'll just park in that terminal because that's kind of where he gave me. It seems to make the most sense. Yeah, those look like pretty big gates too, so we'll do that. Let me turn on my APU and turn all my unneeded lights off. Perfect. Alright, let me identify what those gates are. Because if I can just figure out which ones those are, that would be very nice. 400s. Let's see if GSX is actually correct. Gate 5, 406. Wait, is that 6? I can't even read. Oh, there's a 604 in there. I'll do 603. Show me the spot. Cool, perfect. Alright, we'll do that spot then. 603 heavy and no follow me. And sure, we'll do that one. Okay. Kilo is the next taxiway here, and we'll take that into the ramp. APU is running, so we'll be good for engine shutdown. Nice cloudy day here. Not too bad. Alright, entering here. I might jump on there if I'm back in enough time, because I'm actually going to go out to eat breakfast this morning. I went out yesterday too, but now my in-laws want to go out. It just sounds good though. I could really use some breakfast. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to be able to see what my landing rate was because I didn't do ACARs, unfortunately. I'm just taxiing all over Kingdom Come right now. Okay, there is 603. Do a nice wide turn into that gate. I'm going to turn off my taxi light. It's not going to load up my Marshall. Guess not. Something weird about SimBrief. Sometimes they don't load up the Marshall. So we'll just park there. We'll kick on our parking brakes, shut our engines down. All right, perfect. There we go. We made it to Brazil. How fun. Secure the aircraft. Even better. All right. Well, we have arrived. We can deboard this thing.
The boarding requested.
I'm going to request ground power. Set chocks. Wait for this to let me do it. Gates moving. Request ground power. Cool. Kick that off. What's the temperature here? Oh, it's warm. We should request air conditioning too. Technically, so we don't, you know, roast everybody.
Passengers deboarding started.
Okay, there we go. Deboarding has begun. Cool airport. Be nice to do the return flight out of here. I'm going to try to do it out of the same gate. But yeah, I'll try to stream the return flight to Chicago. I'll probably start at around 11. That's when nap time is. So I can actually sneak down here for a little bit, for a couple hours. So we'll plan on that. I'm going to also try to get my video posted today that I recorded of the departure out of Maui. And I don't know. I wanted to get something up there. It's a different format. It's like a different way of editing. So I want to try that format out and see how that goes. So it looks like we clocked just around 10 hours. Not too bad. And I only had to be awake for like 2 hours of it, so even better. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here and keep an eye out for the departure back to Chicago. And VG Master, if you're on ATS when I get back from breakfast, I'll check it out. So that'd be cool. But anyways, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for joining, Jesus Martinez. I appreciate you chilling for a little bit. I appreciate that very much so. And yeah, hopefully, I'm still looking at Flight Radar 24. I'm like, why are these guys not switched? Because I even looked up the ATIS in real life. And they're still lining them up. Very goofy. So there's a discrepancy between what this data feed says for their ATIS and what is actually happening in real world. So, oh well. Anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Take care, and see you this afternoon, hopefully. Bye-bye.